am Brenda Geiger. I run a company called Geiger Media. It is my third consulting firm. For 20 years, I worked in healthcare marketing, functional medicine marketing, psychiatric health marketing, and a functional medicine lab. But my love is being an independent consultant working with women. And my love as of mid year 2024 is leaning into my true spirituality and where I think we're moving in America, in the world right now. You know that we were in the agricultural era, then we moved to the industrial era, and now we're in what's called the conceptual era, which is an era for creators to tap into their true energy coming from the source, whatever you believe that source is. I happen to be a Christian, but that is what this program is about. A lot of people say that they hate marketing. They just detest it, that it just drives them crazy. It's too complicated. There's way too much to juggle, and it's true. I've been in marketing for almost 4 decades, and I remember having my old brick phone, and there was no social media. It has changed immensely. There's so many balls in the air now that it is no wonder that people do not want to deal with it and want to outsource it. And here is why. It's super technical. There are endless feeds if you're on TikTok or Instagram or anywhere of the sameness going on. Everyone copycatting one another, everyone trying to sell their product or their course or their supplement or their workbook. And there's a lot of shallowness versus realness going on. And I claim to see a lot of vanity over humanity when I see too much skin online and too much of people trying to look perfect. And it's really not where we need to be in this world. So you can just let go of all that, say goodbye. The solution, and if you really tune into this and start Googling spiritual marketing, new age marketing, intuitive marketing, it is coming to be. It's giving birth right now. There's a ton of people that are tapping into this. Business is meant to be a spiritual journey. It's not meant to be a struggle. It's not meant to make you want to crawl up into a ball and uh, cry at night. This is a quote from a person I follow online, Asian Suler. It's here to help you with your expansion. So if you look at it more of an experience, then hopefully marketing won't feel like such a struggle for you. This is a person I met in a sales course last week with Sage Levine, who is a very spiritual consultant for female entrepreneurs. Athena Llewellyn says that your brand is the soul of your business. And if you are lost, then people aren't going to know how to dance with you because they need to tap into who you are and your soul. And you can't just sling random messages out there. It has to really resonate with your heart, your soul, your mind, and everything. I posted this today as a teaser before we got online together. It's not your content that is attracting people to you. It's your consciousness. And if you have struggled and have just been randomly posting something every day just to get something out there, it is no wonder that you're not attracting your people. And about 3 months ago, I really started voicing what I feel, what my high vibration is. And I have attracted more goodness into my life in the past 3 months than in the past 3 years. So I highly encourage you to think of to do a deep dive into what you have to offer and what you're thinking and put that out into the world to attract the right type of clientele or partners into your life. Spiritual Marketing 101. I encourage you to do these 6 things. Align your business with your values. I'll be sharing a free resource in about 7 days that will help you do this. It'll be a free workbook. Make heart-based decisions on your services. Focus on adding value to the world. Really lean into how can this meeting, how can this phone call, how can this email provide something of value? Support a charity that you have an emotional tie to. A lot of the times when we're having a hard time making ends meet, we really clamp down and we're not giving. And giving is what opens up that whole cycle of abundance. So if you're not giving, find something to at least give $5, $10, $20 to. And build lifelong relationships with your customers. I know personally, I've dealt with thousands of personalities and customers over the year. And sometimes you get frustrated. And sometimes you just want to go, I can't take this person anymore. But even today, I was working with a customer who was really struggling to communicate with me, and we got through it together. And we were both so happy at the end of the call that the patience and the love was there for that breakthrough. So it's a mindset. And then when you have time, I highly encourage you to watch this TED Talk by a gentleman by the name of Hugh Yee. It is the power of authentic marketing. He tells a story about an ad that Procter & Gamble did, and it will make you weep. And it is the perfect example of spiritual marketing. And if Procter & Gamble can do it, by golly, us little people out here in the world can do it too, because there had to be a ton of red tape that they had to go through to get that done. So that's a homework assignment for you. What is so crazy about me leaning into spiritual marketing right now is today, no less, at 2:00 in New York City, and it's given me goosebumps. There is a high conscious festival starting at 2 p.m. today in New York that's pulling all sorts of high consciousness leaders to talk. You can Google it when we hang up, but it just shows that this is trending. This is a wave to consider getting on. It's happening everywhere. Don't fall behind. The age of Aquarius. I hope I'm not sounding too wooey. No one can really pinpoint when the age of Aquarius started. We all can sing the song. I can hear it in my head right now. But what it means is we are in an age, especially during this election season, where we are all coming together to create something for the greater good. We are no longer supposed to think, me. We're supposed to think, how can I help my neighbors? How can I help my church? How can I help my community? How can I help women across the world who aren't allowed to get online and share their voice because they are silenced? It is about sisterhood, community, altruism, humankind. It's big. And I hope everyone's listening in to what's happening. These are some folks that I've been following. And again, it's just a big movement. Louis Siegel. If you want to calm yourself down, you don't need to listen to a meditation by someone on some remote channel. You could just go to the Calm Creative on YouTube. She's an artist. She has the most phenomenal voice, and she is anti marketing messages and inundating people and pushing messages out. She is about being still and calm and enjoying your work. So I highly encourage you to check Louise out. Then we have the corporate psychic, Mary Grover. Then we have the mind alchemist, Lauren Jane. And I am totally digging Barbara Povikoff. She's kind of in my lane. She does good content marketing, but she also left her corporate job, learned 5 languages, is a nomad, and she is serving so many people with different languaging that you would see on websites. And I totally get it. And then Kelly Tyan is someone you'll see later on in my presentation. She's more of she has a Christian book out, and her LinkedIn headline says, pray, lead, empower. These are not words that we see every day when we look at CEOs and different influencers, but they are making a big difference, and it's a shift that we should be conscious of. When you really tune in to this spiritual marketing shift, this intuitiveness, this new age marketing, there's podcasts about it. So here's 3 I found yesterday. The Spiritual Hustler. Jessica talks about don't hustle for the money, hustle for the meaning. Then we have the Spirituality Leader, and then we have the Intuitive Customer. I stopped there. But if you really want to tap into some new thought, look at these podcasts. There's just tons of information that's flowing out, and it could be flowing out from you. Okay, I'm going to give you some marketing examples now. Let me check my time. Good. We got 15 minutes. And I want you to, I'm not going to say anything. Tell me which example that you're drawn to. The shock factor or substance. These are real life people on LinkedIn. Oops, I have the wrong names down at the bottom. Ignore that. Cindy, I blow shit up. Brene Brown. She is encouraging people to be brave and kind. So are you more attracted to Cindy, who's blowing things up and really kind of it's more of a masculine energy that she's putting forth in my mind, and Brene is putting forth more of a feminine energy. And we have both inside of us, no matter what gender we are. Then we have, let's go back. So we have 122,000 followers versus 4 million. That kind of tells you who's attracting more people with their message. Who's more authentic, Martha or Ina Gartner? We kind of laugh. We got Martha in her full makeup and her crown and her jewels. Of course, it's a Halloween costume, but she is more vanity centered than Ina. Ina's going on to today's show. She's got her curlers in her hair. She doesn't care that she's not in her pearls and outfit yet. And I believe Martha has 4 million followers on Instagram and Ina has 4.5. So if you say the numbers don't lie, there's not this authenticity endorsement. Who's more humble? We have Tom Hunt, who I'm kind of crushing on LinkedIn. And I love his headline. 3.8 million of occurring revenue, zero raise. I've raised zero money and I have no idea what I'm doing. I just think that is so, I don't know, just rich and honest. And I know reading his background that he started multiple companies that didn't really succeed. This is the one that has succeeded. And if you read any of his posts, it's always about lifting people up, helping them get to the next opportunity, giving someone a bonus when they quit because he's happy for them. And then we have Gary Vayner, and I'm a Vayner freak. I have his books. I think he's great. He cusses a lot. I'm okay with that. But he's a little on the arrogant side. And if you look at his banner, it's all about his companies. He's obviously promoting that he has an empire, a media empire. Whereas Tom is actually, these are all of his customers. He is bragging about the customers he's helping with their podcasts, whereas Vayner is bragging about the empire he's built. Vayner has more followers, but again, it's what you feel clothed in, putting yourself out in the world. Who's more spiritual? Sage Levine, who I also have a crush on because I took her $97 sales class last week and was blown away by the value that she kept giving me over and over and over again, and totally believes in her product, totally supports her women. She has female consulting clients that pay a lot of money. We're talking 5 figures to be in her consulting courses. And they have been paying for 7 to 10 years. They don't just do it once and leave. They cannot get enough of her services. Then we have Willie William. Willie Williams, say that 3 times. Hey, I've got 1 million followers, man. Dig it. Look at this. And it's okay to celebrate your wins. But we're not talking about the numbers. We're talking about what are you doing in the world? What gifts are you giving to other people for their self-growth, not your growth? And that's where the difference will happen. This is the lady that I listed on your spirituality thought leaders list. We have Jennifer Gell. I don't know her. And she's a personal coach. And we have Kelly Tyan, who is an author. And she, believe it or not, used to be a top swimsuit contestant. She won a bunch of swimsuit contests. However, if you look at, we have Jennifer that's barely clothed, very pretty girl, leaning into that sexuality. And all of her customers are men. Now, they're both in the spiritual sector, but I as a branding person, as a PR person, have to say that there's a conflict. Her image isn't jiving with her message. And then you have Tyann, who is totally just girl next door. She's not showing off her swimsuit body. She mentions it in her bio, but come on. How are you putting yourself forward with integrity that matches your brand? So I think Kelly wins the spirituality contest. Who's more giving? Yesterday, I don't know if I'm a LinkedIn junkie. I'm on LinkedIn all the time because I'm trying to really master the platform. But Richard went live on LinkedIn yesterday because he opened yet another charity for people with dyslexia. He has dyslexia and he wants to help them succeed in business. And there's some challenges. So not only is he giving in this post, that he actually married these two people who lost their entire 401k, all of their governmental savings because of a scammer in the UK, went and hit all the post office superintendents and told them that their accounts didn't balance and they were going to have to pay $500,000 or be sent to jail. A lot of these people paid the $500,000 and lost everything. Richard reached out to these people and offered to fly them to his island and marry them. And then we have Bob, who's the Southwest Airlines current CEO. And tell me if this turns you on or gives you any goosebumps. We're celebrating 10 years of Repurpose with Purpose, our award-winning global environmental sustainable initiative. The sentence is too long for me to even read. So it really has no spirituality, no value. It's basically their way to whitewash that they're polluting the planet with their airlines every day. And they're trying to, do some sort of sustainability campaign to cover that up. So my wrap up and giveaway before we pull Sarah on is pop any questions that you have into this chat or on LinkedIn, and whether I find them and see them now, because I have 3 screens going, I'll make sure that they're answered. I'm going to post this entire deck onto brenda-geiger.com so you can download it. If you'd prefer the recorded version, just let me know. I'll see if I can't get that to you on my YouTube channel. And then because I can see a number of you, Cheryl, Katrina, Robin, Nora, that came to the Riverside stream, I'll look at those names and I'll look at the people over here on LinkedIn and I'll pull one name to get a social media audit. It'll be kind. It will be loving. I will not throw you under the bus. I will just make recommendations of how you might be able to turn up your vibration and spirituality, and you can take it or leave it. And if I reach out to you and you're the winner and you're not a big social media person, just say pass. Hi, Brenda, pass, and I'll give it to someone else. I don't think I have anything else after this. I am going to quit sharing and let Sarah step in here. Look, we have people. I love it. Sarah, I see you.
Hello.
Have you stepped into the studio?
I believe so. I think I am here and
awesome.
Is a go.
Isn't it fun?
It is. It is.
Okay, let me introduce Sarah. Sarah and I have known each other for, I think, just 1 year. We met in the Wellness Consortium in Kansas City, which Robin is also a member of. She is a consultant and runs a company called Soul Abundance IQ. And she helps women, I believe, through a 6-month program, get through your blockages and tap into what your soul aligned to do in life. And she has 1 space left in her, she's going to Santa Fe and doing a retreat for women in Georgia O'Keeffe's backyard. And I just think that's cooler than snot. So Sarah, take it over.
Yeah, thank you, Brenda. Well, and I will also say Robin is going to be there as well doing some feng shui for us. So if anyone is interested to learn more about that, please let me know. And thank you, Brenda, for letting me just jump in here with you and talk about sacred success, because I think it's so important as purposeful entrepreneurs. And I love the way that you give us so many tangible things that we can do in our business and pay attention to in our marketing so that we can really align to that piece of ourselves and what we're meant to bring forward in our purpose. So I like to think of sacred success as a holistic form of success. Yes, absolutely. There is money involved in that. We want to be able to have that tangible marker that gives us the freedom to have the expressions and experiences we're here to have. But that also includes having the time that we're meant to have, the personal time, the time to flow and enjoy our lives, and the relationships that fill us up so that we're not sacrificing our relationships or overgiving in our relationships, maybe overgiving to our clients. And it's also, I think of sacred success as being able to give ourselves the personal development, the spiritual development that we want to be experiencing, as well as holding ourselves in alignment no matter what's happening in our worlds, no matter what the ebb and flow and the rhythm of life is taking us through. We're really giving ourselves grace for our human experience. So I really think that the sacred success formula is for you if you're someone who's ready to get out of the hustle and grind and really live from a greater sense of flow and ease in your life, especially in your business. It is also for you if you're someone who's here to answer a deeper purpose. You might feel a soul calling, whether you are very clear on what that looks like, or you maybe aren't so clear on what exactly that is. You can feel that within yourself, but you might still be hitting stumbling blocks and wondering why those are coming up because you feel that sense of purpose so strongly. And this is also for you if you wonder how your work is going to be received, especially as we're stepping into this time, like Brenda's talking about, of that deeper authenticity and really even allowing ourselves to be more vulnerable, to do work that might be a little bit deeper or out of the box compared to maybe something you've done in the past or what others expect from you. This is really about cracking the code on your own uniqueness. And I love going through this process and talking about it because it's work that I have had to do for myself and really take myself through all three of those things and to continue evolving because we're here to continually upgrade ourselves and our business as well. So just to start off, I'm going to invite you to drop in with me and let's take a minute here just to get centered. As you've listened to so much great information from Brenda, and we're getting ready to go into the second part of this. If you want to take a minute just to use my words as suggestions, if it feels good to you to maybe even close down your eyes and just take a minute here to get centered. Connect with your breath, putting one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, feeling that wave of breath moving through your body. This still point here to come back to your center, feeling this as though you're making space to welcome your body, that your body is welcoming the connection with you, space to receive new information, receive information you've heard, but in a new way. Into this wave of breath moving through your body. That inhale and exhale, deepening your exhale, letting go, enjoying your inhale and receiving that your breath is always present. You have to do or strive for to receive this exchange of inhale and exhale in your body. Your mind's eye, picture your breath moving from your head to your toes, seat, and the floor beneath you, holding you, underneath you. Picturing Mother Earth underneath your feet. Next exhale, imagining that you're releasing anything you no longer need down into Mother Earth. Receives it and is able to turn it into compost. Ready to let go of, nourishes the soil and is turned into nourishment that you can breathe back up into your body. Receive all that is meant for you. Sense of receiving self. Smiling at yourself here, thanking yourself for taking this time for you, purposeful work, time to be in community, time to set your intentions for a ripple effect of good to take place through your work in the world and to receive from it. Breath here, slowly come back to yourself whenever you're ready. The time you need, maybe stretching and looking away from the computer as you come back, to just take a minute to come back to yourself. Thank you for getting grounded with me. So, as we talk about sacred success, I really believe that we're not here to hustle and grind as our set point, as our day-to-day energy. And so a lot of times, I think we either know that we're meant to be in greater flow, or we maybe want to believe that's possible, even if we're in a place of wondering, maybe you have created what you've created so far from using your willpower. And willpower is so great. Like, what a great tool that we can tap into. But when we can come into our inner alignment first, then that willpower actually moves the needle for us in a way where we're not having to slog or work extra hard and become depleted. And so often we have deprogramming work that has to take place around this concept because our society values, hard work and hustle and really prioritizes that, even when it's maybe not creating the results that you want, or again, you feel so depleted, or maybe you're just busy for busy's sake and it's not actually getting you to where you want to be. So I always find that the way to really come into a deeper flow is to connect with who we are at soul level, so that the gifts that we are born with, that soul gift that is uniquely yours. And I really think of this as a blueprint that we are here. It's like our operating manual that we're here to work with. And when we can embrace those pieces of ourselves, we have so much more vital force energy, that energy that animates us and makes us excited to get out of bed in the morning and go to work. It really helps us to channel that work and bring it through in a way that is fulfilling and that is actually going to give us more of that flow. So you're not like trying to do something that's not aligned to you. And most of the time, we've never been taught even that we have soul gifts, let alone how to identify them and how to honor that and work with that. So a lot of times we really have to change our mindset and look at those pieces in order to embrace those, because we're often discounting those gifts that are, ours to work with, because they're so innate to us that we forget how valuable that they really are. And so with our soul gifts, a lot of times we're discounting those, but then there's also this piece of how they show up in both the positive side, of how, oh, it's so amazing that these are the things we're here to bring to the world. But then there's also a side of our soul gifts that are challenging as well. So instead of negative, I like to think of these as opportunities to know ourselves and embrace ourselves on a deeper level, because it's really all our gift, both that positive and that challenging side. And the more that we can embrace that and embody that, then we can really get out of our head and into our body and working with the fullness of our expression that we're here to bring. Because that is really the gateway to our inner wisdom. So whether you call that your spiritual heart or your intuition, it's that place we can tap into to really connect with our authentic expression in a way that is so much easier and more flowing than when we're just trying to do it from the mental space, from our head, or from the way that we're taught to work in a certain box. That I tune into that is through the Akashic records. This is an etheric field that a lot of people call the record of all things. So it's kind of like going to a library or going to a filing cabinet and being able to take out that one piece that we really want more information on. And a good way to conceptualize this is through the dimensions. So we've got our third dimension, that is the physical body, that tangible piece we can touch and see. And then we've got the fourth dimension. So that's our mental body and our emotional body. And even though we can't see those, we know those are real. And then we've got our fifth dimension, which is our electromagnetic field. So science is finally starting to be able to measure this energetic field that is a part of who we are. And when we can go to that space, it's the least dense part of ourselves. As we go into our logic and our feelings and then our body, we get more and more dense. So when we can come to this least dense part of ourselves, we can have a greater awareness and then use that in order to bring that into the manifest and manifest our goals and our visions in a way that's a lot easier than having to hustle and grind. My client Miriam went through this process, and she is a wellness coach that helps people with doctor prescribed diets to find things that they love to eat and can actually enjoy what they're eating again. And she had this really powerful story behind why she started her business. And she had this great intention for helping people, but she wasn't progressing the way that she wanted to be and how she thought she would be progressing when she first started her business. And so when we tuned into her soul gifts and she actually started to connect with those pieces of herself, she finally felt free enough to speak more of her truth and actually talk about her business in a way that was more aligned than what she thought she needed to be doing as she was getting started. And so she was actually able to move forward with a lot more ease. So then the next part of sacred success is really answering this purpose. If you feel this purposeful energy within you, again, whether it's really super crystal clear, the full vision, or maybe you don't know it at all, you just feel this energy calling you forward, but you're still hitting stumbling blocks. And it's maybe not making sense why those would be in place, why those are happening when you feel this calling so strongly. Especially as business owners, we can get caught in the spin. We're wearing so many different hats. We're doing so many things. We've got so many things vying for our attention. We can forget the sacred spiral of life that we're here to be dancing with and playing with, and instead get caught in the spin that will keep us stuck. And so this is where we can come into looking at our energetic blocks that are maybe keeping us stuck, that might kind of be in your awareness or might be running in your subconscious field. And so I like to think of this as software on a computer. And, just like our software may have this operating blueprint that it's meant to be running, but then there's a little virus or a little bug that gets stuck in there, and then things just don't operate quite as smoothly. It's the same for energetic blocks. And I actually really love energy blocks. I think they are something to be celebrated because we get into this human experience. We come into this world to have the fullness of our human experience. And part of that is interacting with some of these things that can create energetic blocks for us. And when we're able to bring them fully to the surface and have the awareness, it's kind of this celebration of, wow, I got to learn this thing. I got to go through this journey, and now I'm complete with it and I can release it and let it go. And a lot of times there's so many different energetic blocks, but really they can be boiled down into a quality or a feeling or a state of being. So maybe it's obligation or chaos that's running in your field, kind of mucking things up. Well, when you can fully bring that forward to your awareness and actually look at it and maybe give yourself some grace and love for the human experience that brought you to that, then it's easier to release and actually clear your field in order to move forward. And this isn't just about doing it mentally. I think, especially as entrepreneurs, we love to learn. We love to learn new things, and we're so busy in our brains that sometimes we can forget that it's more than just our mental space. It's also our embodied expression and the way that we are really working with all the parts of ourselves. And so I really think of this as though these energetic blocks, these stumbling blocks are here to teach us our soul's path or that unfolding journey. I think Brenda mentioned, I think there was maybe a slide where someone talked about our business as kind of being a spirit guide or being this spiritual guru for us, that it's here to bring us through this deeper journey. And so that's where we can really connect and bring forward the awareness of what maybe those stumbling blocks are trying to teach us, and then do an energetic clearing and do some inner work so that then we can take aligned action that's actually intentional and going to move us forward. I have another client that I worked with who knew there was something more for her when we got started working together, but she just wasn't really clear why things weren't moving forward. And so in our work, we got really clear about what her specific energetic blocks were so that she could do the inner work first and then take the outer action. Instead of just checking off the to-do list, to-do lists are great. It's a wonderful way to organize. But if you're finding that your to-do list is just growing, she was finding her to-do list was just getting longer and longer, and she was feeling more guilt and more pressure that she wasn't moving forward. It was because we needed to do the inner work first so that then the outer action could happen so much easier. And we also found she really wanted to meditate, and she was like, I can't sit down and meditate. And so when we looked at her personal energy, she wasn't meant to sit and meditate. She was being asked to do walking meditations and things that were more active. And when she did that for herself, she was able to take that energy into her business and find this deeper alignment that helped her really to do, instead of, oh, I think I should be doing it this way. So she really was able to find her own uniqueness. And that is the third part of this sacred success formula, is your unique abundance pathway. So if you're ever wondering how your work is going to be received, especially if you're becoming more authentic in the way that you show up, maybe a little bit more vulnerable, or if you're wondering if you'll ever create the big vision that you see for yourself, are you ever going to actually crack the code to make that happen? This is where we come into your personal uniqueness, so you can actually express that into your business. And as entrepreneurs, I know that you are no stranger to doing deep work and hard work. And I really think, a lot of times we can get stuck in what we see outside of ourselves instead of remembering that that's supposed to spark us. So if you're listening to a guru or you're listening to someone else's formula, that even though I'm talking about a formula, it's meant to just spark you to finding your personal uniqueness so that then you can use that in a way that actually works for you instead of for someone else. And again, this is where you begin to tap into your personal vital force energy, that animating force that gives you more energy, that helps you feel more fulfilled and aligned with the actions that you're taking. And it's about coming into what's really alive for you personally and following that breadcrumb trail. And it can also involve facing maybe some things that are difficult, because a lot of times I will work with people who think like, I have this goal and these are the things I think I need to do to get there. And maybe that is exactly aligned. And other times I find it's like, yes, that's great. But if you first spent the time to go do that creative project you've been talking about for a month or a year, or go have the rest and relaxation you've been putting off, or go do what you need to do to hold your boundaries in this toxic relationship that's happening in your life, then things start to flow. Once that's taken care of, it's so much easier to take those other actions and reach those goals. And again, I believe that this is our human technology. So this is that innate, organic human technology that we're meant to work with, to connect to our inner wisdom, our spiritual heart. We're coming into this age of AI and machine learning. And I believe that's really meant to support our human technology and to always tap into that first so that we're not abdicating responsibility to AI or to something else. We're using that to spark us and to support our creativity instead of just letting that run the show. We're still following our own authenticity and creativity. I also believe that this part connects us to our light shadow. So we might have pieces to love and embrace that are part of our shadow that really want to come to the surface instead of just running in the background, maybe mucking something up, as well as embracing our light. Sometimes that is the harder piece, is to embrace really how amazing we are and what we have to offer the world, and really letting that shine through ourselves and through our purposeful work. My client Mackie went through this process, and when she left her corporate job to do purposeful work, she was really thinking about, how are people going to receive this? What are people going to think as I've made this pivot and I'm starting to really speak authentically? And what we found is that her unique abundance pathway was all about trust. And the more that she cultivated personal trust for herself and her path, the easier it was for her to really follow her purposeful work, let her business flourish the way it's meant to, and to not worry so much about what other people think of what she was doing. I have found that this work has helped me do all of these pieces. I am a recovering people pleaser. I am someone who I've been connected to my intuition since I was small, but I also had these phases of life where I would check out and numb out. I would drink too much, or I would become a workaholic and sacrifice my personal relationships, or I would overgive to my clients and put them first, even if it wasn't good for me. And as I came into this work, it really gave me more permission to face the pieces of myself that I wasn't quite ready to look at the time, of why I was overgiving, or why I, was spending less time with my husband so I could work more. And it really helped me come back into alignment so that then I could feel the magic and miracles in my life and let that shine through the work that I was doing. because I feel like that is an innate part of the human experience that we've been a little bit disconnected from. And, as Brenda was talking about this shift in whether you want to call it the Aquarian age or just this shift in consciousness as we're being more connected in our world, we really have this opportunity to connect to the magic and miracles that are available for us and abundant. And then let that shine through the work that we're here to do and be a ripple effect of good in the world. I do have a longer training for this. If that's something you're interested in, it's at sacredsoulsuccess.com. And I will put that link in the chat in the comments. But I would love to hear from anyone who wants to share, whether you want to message me or share in the comments what your process has been. What does sacred success mean to you? And what are you working on right now? Because again, we're all going to be working on these pieces and evolving them over time, because we're here to grow and find more fulfillment all the time. So thank you so much, Brenda, and everyone for letting me share about that. I really appreciate getting to connect with you all.
Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate it. And you covered something I read in the newsletter today that said, quit trying to micromanage the universe, which is, I think, something I do. I just push and push and push. And sometimes you just have to step back and breathe like you helped us do and know that you are enough and you're doing enough and you have enough. And this is a wonderful panel for that. So thank you guys for showing up. Cheryl, I love you. I miss you. We went to college together and she has her own business and stepped out of government after 30 years. And thank you, Robin. And I don't know Nora, but I think you guys are connected. And again, I will send you, post this on my website, brenda-geiger.com, so you can have the slides or the recording, and send you the workbook when I get done with it. But I'm going to Colorado next week, so I'm gonna recharge my soul. Have a wonderful week and know that you are enough and keep doing your wonderful, purposeful work.
Thank you.
Bye.